proportion. Having known the balance unpaid in partner's capital account on dissolution is the deficiency or loss on realization, and having known that loss on realization should have gone only in their loss sharing proportion, you are now making them to bear in their capital proportion. Is it an acceptable proposition? No. In what proportion you kept distributed here? 7:3. Okay, you ended up in 7:3. But you wanted to end up in 3:2 proportion if there is something unpaid. So what is it you think we can do? This is not an acceptable proposition. That much we have understood. Why? It is becoming illogic of our understanding, and the balance left unpaid being a loss that is not now possibly being borne by them in their loss sharing proportion which is desired, and therefore we say this proportion of distribution is not acceptable. Okay. Now you come to case 3. A, B, total. Balance, lakh and 40, 60, 2 lakhs. And the loss sharing proportion is 3:2. Capital proportion is 7:3. All that continues. Again, let us take that 20,000 to be distributed, and then 80,000 to be distributed, and thereafter there is no further recovery. I mean the same example if you continue. Earlier, when you tried 7:3, which is a capital proportion as suggested by our friend, we could see we are meeting with the not a desired result. But we are looking at 3:2. So when you have distributed in 7:3, you are ending up the unpaid portion in 7:3. Had you distributed it in 3:2, will you end up in 3:2 of the balance unpaid, which is our desired objective, is what we are to test. Therefore, you take now that 20,000 of distribution in what proportion? 3:2. How much it comes to? How much? 3/5 of this. 12,000 and 8,000, which is 20,000. Will you agree? Is it okay? 3/5 of 20,000. 12,000 and 8,000. Now please tell me, lakh and 28,000 and 52,000. It is lakh and 80,000. Second occasion, 80,000 we got recovered. Again, in 3:2, you distribute. What happens? 3/5 of this. 48,000 and 32,000. It is 80,000. Tell me, what is the balance? 80,000 and 20,000, 1 lakh. This is balance unpaid, which is loss. But now you please tell me, in what proportion we are with? Earlier it was 7:3. Here it is now 4:1. What is this 4:1? Neither the loss sharing ratio nor the capital ratio, a change ratio has come about. But nevertheless, that 1 lakh rupees is unpaid. But then here, the balance unpaid in partner's capital account, which is supposed to be called deficiency or loss, which is supposed to have been distributed in their loss sharing proportion. But your pattern of distribution by following the profit sharing or loss sharing proportion doesn't help you in achieving the desired objective. Therefore, what is the moral of the story? This is also not a acceptable proposition. Are you able to understand the problem? A doctor normally, while prescribing the medicine, he should not be prescribing the medicine for a superfluous problem. He has to kill the root cause. And only when he knows the root cause, he can be a good and successful doctor. Otherwise, he will be a commercial doctor. Today, we have only commercial doctor. He wants, by this medicine, you must have some more side effect, and therefore, he will be ever a patient for him for his lifetime. That's what they ensure now. Now, that is not the way in which we are to prepare for the examination. We are to prepare for the knowledge. So understand where the problem. So tell me now, if you have been trying to distribute when there is a surplus straight away, there seems to be no problem. But when you know the earlier recoveries may not know how far you are going to recover, how much you are going to recover. You are to keep in mind, in any case, your distribution should end up any loss at any given point of time to represent in their loss sharing proportion is our desired objective. But that is not achievable when you have distributed it in the capital proportion, or when you have tried on the loss sharing proportion, you have never achieved that. Can you now tell me then, what is the solution? That is what we are to look at. That is where, friends, we are to consider proportionate capital method or higher capital relative method. Proportionate capital method or higher capital relative method is a one. The other one is maximum loss method. Like there are two methods we are going to follow for solution, for drawing the solution for such kind of problem. Now, please try to understand. Mathematically, if you observe, you try to tell me one important issue. That will give you the answer for the proportionate capital method to learn. Quickly observe case 2 and case 3. Quickly observe case 2 and case 3. In case 2, the money available got distributed in the capital ratio. The balance unpaid is left in capital ratio. In case 3, money available got distributed in the loss sharing ratio, but the balance left unpaid doesn't end up in loss sharing proportion. What is the reason mathematically that you can observe? Yes, tell me, ma. Correct. Here, the capital ratio I have followed. I am ending up in capital ratio of the balance unpaid. Here, I am following the loss sharing ratio, but I am not ending up in getting loss sharing ratio. Why? Now, friends, if you observe it, you appreciate when your starting point here, which is the capital ratio 7:3, and if you apply any kind of distribution in 7:3, at any given point, so long you don't have surplus, it is only ending up in the capital proportion. Logically understood. But here, you know what is it you have done? We started with lakh and 40/60, that means 7:3. But distribution was done in 3:2. 7:3 was a starting point. 3:2 is a distribution point, and therefore your end result was something very odd. If you want 3:2 as your end product, what is it you must have done? Not only you must have distributed it in 3:2, but also you must have started it in 3:2. Here, when you wanted to end up in 7:3, by having distribution at 7:3, you started also with 7:3. Here, when you distributed in 3:2, with a starting point of 7:3, you neither end up on 7:3 nor end up on the 3:2. But if your objective is to end up in 3:2 of this final result, you should have not only distributed in 3:2, but also you must have started it in 3:2 for your mathematical appreciation. If that be the case, your starting point is lakh and 40/60. That should have been made to convert in the form of 3:2 to begin with. So if your starting point is adjusted to your loss sharing ratio, then any available money, if you keep distributing it in the loss sharing proportion, at any given point of time when there is no question of surplus and only deficiency, you will have that deficiency represented in their loss sharing proportion. That is what your proportionate capital method, or the highest capital relative method, as what we are going to talk about, is being advocated. Sir, we are unable to understand what precisely in this situation we are to do. Can you explain? I will explain. Now, friends, shall I remove this part? So long, whatever has been recorded, you have made a note of?